The corridors of Caligula's palace were never quiet. Not because of debate or counsel, but because of fear. Fear has a sound. It moves differently than footsteps. It lingers longer than echoes. Under Caligula's rule, Rome's elite learned that terror did not always arrive screaming. Sometimes it came calmly, with scrolls, seals, and polite instructions delivered by guards who never met your eyes. This was not chaos. It was routine. Every humiliation followed procedure. Every punishment had documentation. Every broken household became another entry in the administrative memory of the empire. Rome, the most organized civilization the ancient world had ever known, discovered that efficiency could serve cruelty just as well as law. To understand how it reached this point, we must return to the beginning, to a young man once hailed as Rome's salvation. Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus was born into reverence. The son of the legendary General Germanicus, he grew up surrounded by soldiers who adored him. They dressed him in miniature military boots, calling him Caligula, Little Soldier. The name followed him for life. His childhood was shaped by applause and dread in equal measure. He witnessed devotion to his father and suspicion from the imperial court. When Germanicus died under mysterious circumstances, the family unraveled. His mother was exiled. His brothers were eliminated one by one. Caligula survived by becoming invisible. He learned early that in Rome, sincerity was dangerous. Survival required performance. When Emperor Tiberius died and Caligula ascended the throne, Rome erupted in celebration. For 100 days, the city rejoiced. Taxes were reduced. Prisoners were freed. Games were held. Roads repaired. Aqueducts restored. The legions were rewarded. After years of repression, Rome believed it had been reborn. Caligula walked among the people. He ate with senators. He laughed publicly. He appeared generous, accessible, and charismatic. Many believed the gods themselves had finally smiled on Rome. Then came the illness. In late 37 CE, Caligula collapsed. He hovered near death for weeks. Priests sacrificed endlessly. Citizens made vows to give their own lives if the emperor survived. When he recovered, Rome celebrated again. But something had changed. He began to demand divine recognition. Statues of gods were altered to bear his likeness. Temples adjusted their rituals. The line between emperor and deity dissolved, not symbolically, but administratively. Insomnia consumed him. He wandered the palace at night. He spoke to statues. He argued with shadows. Servants learned not to question what they saw. The transformation spread outward, first into his household, then into the Senate, then into every family that mattered. Caligula discovered a form of power more effective than execution. He learned that forcing people to participate in their own humiliation destroyed resistance completely. Fear could be endured. Complicity could not. Elite households were summoned under the language of ritual, duty, and service. Compliance was recorded. Hesitation was remembered. Every interaction became leverage. Nothing remained private. Physicians were ordered to evaluate bodies. Scribes recorded outcomes. Accountants calculated payments disguised as contributions to the state. What appeared ceremonial was administrative. What appeared religious was political. Rome's governing class became trapped inside a system they could not publicly name without destroying themselves. The Senate passed laws that sanctified obedience. Silence became survival. Approval became protection. Resistance became extinction. Families were forced to choose between honor and existence, and Rome taught them which choice endured. Records were kept beneath the Palatine Hill. Names, dates, outcomes, observations. The language was cold, bureaucratic, precise. Atrocity translated into procedure loses its scream. Caligula understood this. He read from those records aloud, not to punish individuals, but to remind everyone that the system remembered even when people wished to forget. Rome did not collapse under him. Complied. But systems built on terror rot from within. The Praetorian Guard, once loyal, once rewarded, grew resentful. Mockery replaced favor. Humiliation replaced honor. Even those who enforced cruelty eventually tasted it. On a winter day in 41 CE, the system turned inward. In a narrow passage beneath the palace, Caligula was surrounded and killed by the very forces that had protected him. His death was swift. His meaning was not
Rome attemptait d'érasure.
Statues destroyed, names chiseled away, coins melted. A formal condemnation was declared. But memory does not obey decrees. The records remained. The families remembered. The children born into silence carried questions they could never safely ask. The men who complied never spoke of what obedience had cost them. Caligula did not invent cruelty. He perfected its organization. He proved that atrocity does not require madness, only administration. And that lesson, once learned, never truly disappears.